Hello everyone. I appreciate you being here today for me. I have to do an informative speech from a communications class 542. My professor is Clifford Kelly, and I appreciate you. The informative speech that I'll be informing you about today is the contemporary youth, occult and cultic activity. There is a difference between the two. As you see the definition for occult, just to kind of paraphrase it a little bit, any type of religion that is perverted and it deviates from the sound doctrine of God, and it sets a man or a woman or an object up to be worshipped instead of God, then that will be a cult. The cult usually try to bind the minds of people, bind the minds of the youth, where that person don't think for themselves anymore. But the Word of God tells us that we should have the mind of Christ. The occult is a little bit different. It goes off into the dark side. It goes off into magic and magicians and voodoo and witchcraft. It gets off into the dark side more so than the evil side of worshiping the devil instead of worshiping God. That's an occult. The occult and cult is not a new term that's been used. It's been here for years, decades. We can go all the way back to the Tower of Babel with Nimrod. Nimrod ended up being worshipped by the people. They worshipped his mother. And the Babylonian system has come all the way from Nimrod days all the way to contemporary times today. And when we look around with the occult and the occult, you can trace it all the way back to Nimrod. You have occult activity movements through the ages. Okay, you got Hinduism. That's even before Christ. You got Islam. Everybody's familiar with the Islam Nation and Allah. You have the Mormons movement. They worship a guy named Joseph. Then you have Jehovah's Witnesses. They deny the deity of Christ. The triune God. They deny the Trinity. All of these are forms of cults that are in the land today that you can trace back to Babylonian system. Okay, right now in the current occult activity, look at this: Satanism, Wicca, magic, drugs, yoga, Eastern philosophy. All of these things come all the way back from the Tower of Babel during the Nimrod days. This is not new. Satanism has captured the children's minds. Wicca is supposed to be a new religion. Magic is in all of the cartoons, on the bookshelves. Drugs is prevalent. Yoga, everybody's doing yoga. Christians do yoga. It doesn't matter, but it originated from the Eastern philosophy. All the way back from the Nimrod days, all the way up to today, and it's being integrated inside of Christianity, better known as a New Age, where every religion is okay. Whatever you do is okay. Even in the Bible days, they had so many different philosophies going on. Jesus had to come to put those things back in order again. And it's time for these things back to be ordered, to get back to order again, even if it's in our own hearts and minds waiting on God to come back again. You have the cult and occult with the contemporary youth. Why is the occult so appealing to our youth? Why is witchcraft appealing to our youth? Why is magic so exciting, the enchantment to our youth? One is because of the identity crisis of the youth. They don't know who they are. And because they don't know who they are, they choose something to try to find their identity where they feel like they perhaps belong, a sense of belonging, because the church have pushed them away. Their ideas are different. The way they dress now is different. It's not a traditional dress. It's not a traditional attitude that they have now. They want to come to church in their jeans instead of their faces all greased up and shining. It's a contemporary youth. So the traditional church pushes the contemporary youth out, labels them as rebellious, give them a label as a heathen, instead of embracing them and trying to understand, bridging the gap and allowing the old traditional to mingle in with the new. A bridge has to be reached from us to the youth. They don't know who they are. The church is hypocritical. They come into the church. They want their own experience, what they know that God is real for themselves. But instead of them finding it, they find bad examples. They find hypocrisy. They find people say love everybody but hate everybody. They find things where they say don't commit fornication because you're young. Keep yourself, and all these little laws and rituals, but yet and still fornication is prevalent in the church from the pulpit to the door. So they're looking at hypocritical examples. Why should they stay in the church? They can go in the world. Why should they have respect for the authority that's in the church? The church has rejected our youth. Okay, if the church is rejecting the youth, what do? How do we embrace the youth and take them out of the hands of a witchcraft? Take them out of the hands of the Babylonian system? Right here, we can love and accept them. Genuinely show an example in our lives that we are who we say we are. We can listen to their ideas, listen to their feelings, really hear what they're saying from their hearts. And if their hearts cry out to us and we receive them, we can draw our youth back, because they'll find a place inside of the church. Many traditional people feel like if they have a place in the church and we do things a little bit different, then we're compromising the Word of God. But we're not. We can actually choose new methods. We can actually do it in a different way and still do not compromise the Word of God. God is a holy God. We can't take holiness away from God, because that's His character. That's who He is. God is love. We cannot take that character of God, that characteristic of God, out of God, because that's who He is. But if we begin to show them the love, if we begin to show them new methods, if we begin to show them like, we care for you, we just simply don't understand. Help me understand you. Help me come up with a method that I can be happy and you can be happy, and we can bridge that gap. A bridge needs to be met. A bridge needs to be made so that the contemporary and the traditional can come together, and we can snatch our youth back out of the hand of society, out of what people say should be the norm in the world, but not the norm for us. Because if the government says that it can be done, that doesn't mean that it can be done for us. But we can bring them back into what our norm is. The Christianity that God has founded for us. I appreciate you listening to me. I pray that you have a thought. I will conclude right now, and it says that right here on this picture, we believe. That's what we want our contemporary youth to say. At the end of this presentation, you'll see a bibliography. There's more information if you want to delve into more of the occult and the cult and how snatching our youth out of the church. Look on the bibliography, and you will find some readings and some suggestions that will truly help you. Again, I thank you.